Is it time for recess yet? I'm so glad you found time to join us here on the Childcare Director's Chair, where Erica Sacoccio shares her best practices that she's refined through her passion of directing childcare centers over the last 23 years. From parenting interaction, systems to save you time, money, and stress, to profitability. She shares it all from the Childcare Director's Chair.
Hello to all of the childcare leaders out there today. Thank you for stopping in. I do want to just start with this episode is going to be a little bit longer than my typical episodes. But I know you guys are really always so busy, and that's why we make our podcast really short, fast tips that you can take on the go and implement them immediately. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about time blocking. And yesterday's episode, we talked about tools that you could use to have better time management in your program. But one thing that I do that is not electronic, technically, is time blocking. And if you're not sure what time blocking is, I have to tell you, it really is the ultimate secret weapon for maximizing productivity and taking control of your day. It's a simple yet powerful technique that allows you to allocate specific blocks of time for different tasks and activities. It ensures that you make the most out of every minute. Now imagine a well-organized schedule where you have complete control over your time. Well, with time blocking, you can say goodbye to endless distractions and hello to laser-focused work sessions. By assigning dedicated blocks of time to important tasks, you create a structured framework that eliminates the chaos and overwhelm that often comes with a busy schedule. And I know you all know what a busy schedule looks like. This technique empowers you to prioritize the most important tasks and then tackle them head on, whether it's completing a project, working on a creative endeavor, or even taking time for self-care. Time blocking ensures that you have designated periods solely dedicated to those activities. So, yes, I'm talking to you. No more squeezing them in between meetings or rushing through them in a frenzy. And we're all guilty of it, me included. Not only does time blocking increase your productivity, but it also enhances your ability to manage your time effectively. By visually mapping out your day and allocating specific time slots for each task, you can gain a clear understanding of how your time is being utilized. This allows you to identify any gaps or inefficiencies in your schedule, and then you can make the necessary adjustments to optimize your productivity. Time blocking also helps you stay focused and avoid the temptation of multitasking, which we all do. By committing to a single task during a designated block of time, you immerse yourself fully in the task at hand. It leads to increased concentration and improved quality of work. It's like creating a fortress of productivity around yourself and shielding you from distractions and enabling you to accomplish more in less time. So now that you know what time blocking is, let's hop into a few ways that you as a childcare director can use time blocking. First, you want to start with the plan. Before you begin time blocking, take some time to plan out your day or your week. I honestly like to do it by the week, and at the end of the week, I fill in. I don't fill up a lot on Friday. I fill in anything I didn't get done on the other days, they kind of get moved down. Again, because I keep priority at hand. Identify your priorities and determine how much time you need to allocate to each task. It will also help you, as you start to track this, it will really help you identify where your, what do I call them? Time suckers are. Or you'll really have an eye-opening of how much time it does take you to do certain tasks. So I did find that in my journey as I started to time block myself. You want to set clear goals. Clearly define what you want to achieve during each time block. Having a clear goal will help you stay focused and motivated. So if you listened to yesterday's episode, I had alluded that I am in the middle of getting ready for relicensing at all 3 of my locations. So I would say, here would be an example. So tomorrow my goal would be, instead of saying I have to work on all these things for licensing, tomorrow my goal might be to make sure that everything that is needed for my yearly fire inspection is completed and documented. So looking through my fire drill reports, making sure I have copies of all of my staff's current CPR and first aid cards, doing a floor walk to make sure all of my fire extinguishers are clearly labeled and tagged and not out of date, right? All of those things. But that one focus is everything that is needed to make sure I am in compliance with my fire inspection. And then the next day, I may put looking at staff qualifications. So maybe the next day, I'm looking at only things that have to do with licensing around my staff, making sure I have current transcripts, making sure I have current certifications, making sure that I have all of the clearance reports that need to be done, because in our state, fingerprints are done every 3 years, PCI, and CANS checks every 5. So, they do expire. So, making sure that all of those things are in compliance. So, and documented and photocopied so they can be sent in with our license. So those are just some examples of setting a very clear goal instead of just writing working on licensing. The other thing you want to do is create dedicated blocks for administrative tasks, because we all know administrative tasks can easily take up a significant portion of your day. So set aside specific blocks of time to tackle paperwork, emails, and other administrative duties. And if there are some of those things that you can delegate out to other folks on your team, I would say make sure you do that. You want to schedule time for meetings and collaboration. Meetings and collaboration are essential for effective childcare management. So make sure you don't forget to allocate specific time blocks for those activities to ensure that they don't disrupt your other tasks. Because the people come knocking on the door, knock, knock, knock. Do you got a minute? That minute turns to like 20. So you know it and I know it. So schedule a time, and you can let all your team know that today from the hours of 10 and 11, anybody who needs to come see me can come see me during that time. I have designated that time for you to be uninterrupted if you need to see me, right? So again, it gives them also that courtesy and respect that they deserve and your undivided attention. So make sure you're scheduling time for meetings and collaborations with your team. You want to prioritize time for staff supervision. As a childcare director, it is very important that we spend time overseeing and supporting our staff. So dedicate specific blocks for staff supervision and monitoring and mentoring, all of those things. So, and make sure when you write it down, what's nice about this is you tend to have some employees that take all of your time, and then you may have some other employees who never bother you, come in, do what they're supposed to, and sometimes they get kind of, I don't want to say on purpose, but they sometimes may fall to the wayside because they're always good, right? So when you write it down, it really will help you make sure that you're spending your time, love, and support evenly throughout your group. Allocate time for parent communication. Parent communication is such an important part of what we do in the trust business here in the childcare industry. So make sure that you set aside time blocks for phone calls, emails, and face-to-face meetings with parents. It's so important that they see you. Please don't hide behind a desk. And I know that you're busy and you have so much paperwork to do and all the things, but there's really not much more important than making sure that you have positive parent communication, aside from obviously making sure our children are safe. But parent communication for me is right up there as a top priority. You want to designate blocks of lesson planning and curriculum planning time. Planning engaging and educational activities for children requires some time and creativity. So create dedicated blocks for lesson planning and curriculum development. And if you work with a education coordinator, as we do in our state, make sure that you have blocked that time for them as well. So if you work on that together, or if that person needs time out of the classroom and you're typically the one that covers them, make sure you block in that time so that your education coordinator gets the time that they need and deserve as well. And make sure you don't forget about yourself. So include breaks and self-care. Don't forget to prioritize your own well-being. Schedule regular breaks and self-care activities to recharge and avoid burnout. So don't eat lunch at your desk. Stop working and take your lunch break. Go outside to the picnic table. Enjoy the sunshine. Take a ride in your car. Go for a walk. Stretch, yoga, any of those things that really help you recharge. But don't forget to give yourself those breaks. And when you come back, you'll be much more productive anyway. So you're not really saving yourself any time by continually working like a robot. So there's that. You want to minimize distractions. So during your time blocks, eliminate distractions as much as possible. Put your phone on silent, close any unnecessary tabs on your computer, and communicate with your staff that during this period of time, you're not to be disrupted. Just like you allocated time specifically for them, tell them that this is the time you allocated specifically to do a particular task. And this one I really love, but batch similar tasks together. Group similar tasks together in one time block. For example, if you have multiple phone calls schedule them during a specific block, and that will maximize your efficiency. It'll also keep you on task as far as those phone calls, so you don't let them go on and on and on, because that can happen too. We're usually very friendly with the folks that we're talking to on the phone. So again, of course, always be polite and professional, but keep yourself to that time. And I think that that's one I really like. I will do that 3 times a day. I check my emails and phone calls first thing in the morning as soon as I arrive at the center, again during lunchtime, and again by the end of the day, so that way when I leave the center, I know any emergencies have been addressed accordingly. The next thing you want to do is you want to use tools and technology. Take advantage of time management tools and technology to streamline your processes. Utilize calendar apps, project management software, and timers to stay organized and on track. And if you're not sure what's available, tune into yesterday's episode. We talk a little bit about different options. So you want to check that out if you haven't already. And let's not forget, we want to delegate and empower others. Don't be afraid to delegate tasks to your staff members. Empower them to take on responsibilities. This frees up your time for more strategic tasks. Because at the end of the day, especially if you are owner of the program, you really should be working on your program, not in your program. And I know that a lot of people talk about that, and sometimes it is a challenge. And I understand. I'm somewhere in the middle because I really do like to be on site at my locations. I really do love to know my staff and my families and my children. To me, that's important, but that's part of my core values. Everybody is a little different. But at the end of the day, you have to make sure that you are working in your pay scale. You want to make sure that you are doing things that make sense for your business, whether it's increasing your revenue, whether it's supporting your staff, whether it is, marketing your program to the community or community involvement. Make sure you're just spending your time wisely, which is why blocking tasks, freeing up more of your time really just does help you all the way around. And like anything else, you want to evaluate and adjust. Regularly evaluate your time blocking techniques. See what's working for you and what needs improvement, and adjust your schedule accordingly to optimize your productivity and also your happiness. And communicate your schedule. Let the staff, parents, and colleagues know that you are time blocking, and that schedule will help you with setting expectations and minimizing interruptions during your designated time blocks. You also want to make it very clear that if there is an emergency, you, of course, are accessible. And then clarify what is an emergency, okay? So I am always accessible to my staff, and they know we have a red light, yellow light, green light system at our school. If it is a red light, you can come knock on that door or come find me or call me anytime. So I'm always accessible in a way where it matters. They know not to come knock on the door to ask me about blue construction paper in the middle of a meeting, okay? So set those boundaries with your staff, give them clear expectations, and they really will love it, honestly, because it makes it easier for them too. And lastly, we'll talk about practicing consistency, because consistency, like anything, is key when it comes to mastering time blocking techniques. Stick to your schedule as much as possible and make it a habit. And so hopefully some of those techniques, if you use them, will really help you by intentionally setting aside time for personal activities, family, and relaxation, and ensure that your life isn't solely consumed by work. The balance is so important. Maintaining overall well-being, preventing burnout, allowing you to lead and feel more fulfilled in a satisfying life, leadership, feeling like you're a great leader. All of these tips really will help you do that and feel empowered and in control. So I hope that you like this episode. If you did, please leave us a rating. We would love that. Give us a subscribe. That really does help us be able to continue to create this wonderful podcast for you. And tune in tomorrow, because we are going to talk about a few of the challenges or that you may have when time blocking. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. So thank you for tuning in. Have a great day. This has been the Childcare Director's Chair.
Well, all the cute little kiddos have been picked up and it's time to go home. And that'll do it for another episode of the Childcare Director's Chair. Please leave a review so Erica knows the information is helping you to manage and improve your childcare centers. Remember to subscribe to get the latest episode from Erica's Childcare Director's Chair.